Hello there, we're live in the ClueCon weekly studio as we do this recording, and it's David Duffett here. Every week we try and talk to interesting people about interesting things, and today is no exception because we have Markus Monka here with us from sipgate in Germany. How are you doing today, Markus?
Hi, David. I'm fine, thank you.
It's good to have you along. And I visited sipgate on a good number of occasions, but of course, I believe you're currently working from home in Germany at the moment.
Yeah, we do, but I'm actually in the office.
Oh, great. That's a great place to be. I know the office well, and it's a wonderful place, isn't it? With all sorts of different facilities, from group meeting areas and kitchens and dining rooms.
Yes. It's really sad that it's not crowded today, but we do the best we can and try to get a lot of people on the campus in the time of Corona. But it's hard times for everybody. So yeah, we are still at home and doing home office.
Great. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later, Markus, because I am very, very interested in the way that sipgate has come to deal with the current circumstances and work effectively and efficiently in that, because I know how powerful that your company was through what you did as a collective at work, and so I'm really excited to hear about that later. But I'd like to start off allowing the ClueCon weekly audience to learn something about you, Markus, before we get into sipgate, the company. So can you give us a little bit of a history and background, maybe sort of some career moves that you've made over the years and how you ended up in sipgate, and then bring us up to date with what you do in sipgate now?
Yeah,
how about that?
It's quite easy. I'm 33 years old. I'm a father of 2 kids. I live in Düsseldorf, and I moved to Düsseldorf in '97 and started to studying multimedia technologies at the University of Applied Science. And I lived in a student's flat, one floor under one of the founders of sipgate. So, and we had a lot of beers, and one day he asked me, hey, do you want to join the company? Do you want to work for sipgate? At that time, the company was called Netzquadrat, so we have a lot of company names and companies around. And yes, that's it. So now I'm here.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm imagining that over those years, Markus, your role within sipgate has perhaps changed or developed. So perhaps you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I started as a LAMP programmer, so Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, and there was a website or a product we wanted to bring to the market called Billiger Tanken. So it's comparison to gasoline prices in Germany. And I was doing the back end and some parts of the front ends to manipulate the prices, but the product never launched. So I moved in different areas. I started doing some kind of network administration at the company, and my first task was the Windows file server based on Samba.
Right.
And then I were looking right and left, and in 2003 we received the first Grandstream telephone, and we downloaded the SIP Express router version 0.8, and the founder Thilo, one of the guys, said, here's something we could maybe make it a disruptive product, try it out, the quality should be good, and I'm in holidays, see you in 2 weeks. And then we had 2 weeks to build up a small sipgate system doing calls, and there was also this tool, SareWeb, the kind of administration website for the SIP Express router. And one of the programming guy, Richie, took the website and make some features we needed. Yeah, and in 2004 we started the first sipgate product on the market, and I think we were the first voice over IP, or the first independent voice over IP carrier at that time.
Yeah, and you were certainly the first voice over IP carrier I'd ever used, and I used to delight in coming to your web store and seeing all the exciting equipment, from Fritz boxes to all
Yes.
the different things that you had at the time. It was
yeah, we had our
very
own
much
shop, and we do all the kinds of logistic on our own. So it was great times, but it also was hard times.
yeah.
doing the we had what is it called, where you put all the fritz boxes inside to wait until someone orders, and then you ship
like
it.
a little like a little warehouse of fritz boxes.
A storage warehouse. We had a huge warehouse with all kind of stuff you need, and it was really interesting. Yeah, that's a really rough, small way through my life and through the sipgate history.
Okay.
At sipgate, we do kinds with a lot of open source tools. So sipgate is based on the core features on sipgate is based on open source technology.
Right.
But we learned a lot through the journey we did in these years, also with some other vendors. But I think when we moved into telephony area, we had Asterisk boxes based with Zapata Digium cards.
Yeah.
And we had E1 connectivity. But one of the first tries we had as company Netzquadrat, we offer customers dial-up access. And we did this with Asterisk and Zapata cards, and I think module Chap-Rus, something like that. And it was really the first steps into open source telephony components, and it was really hard because it always died, the kernel or the software, and we had a lot of troubleshooting. But it was the first small steps to bring us to the telco world, and now we're here and offering millions of minutes a month to customers.
Right. Yeah, I would like to just hear about exactly what sipgate do now. When I first came across sipgate, I believe it was just a SIP carrier, and that was it, just SIP trunks and the web shop. And I know that you were serving both Germany and the UK at the time, because I could get UK phone numbers and things from you back in the day. But I believe that you've made a transition not only into hosted PBX, but some other things as well. So I wonder if you could tell us what your current kind of offerings are.
Yeah, we are offering products for private business and mobile customers. So the product we started with in 2004 is sipgate Basic. It's still on the market. It's just a landline number which is connected to a voice over IP endpoint, and we are offering this service in Germany and the UK. But you can move your phone over the world, so you can connect it to, if you're on holidays or if you have a house in a different state, you can connect it. It's not all the legal enforcements like this, but it's okay. We have the PBX. As you mentioned, we started in 2009 to offer a cloud-based PBX service, and this is the main product we are offering today. Mostly based in Germany. We also have the PBX in the UK. We tried to start business in the States in 2000, I don't know, 10. Thilo, one of the founder, I told about, moved to San Francisco and started to bring the service to the country. But I think it was also the year where Google Voice started, so it was really hard to competitive with Google Voice. And in 2012, we started as an MVNO in Germany. So we are based on the radio access network from Telefonica and have our own core backend. So we integrated SIM cards natively into our PBX. So it's not like forwarding or whatever. So it's like it's a direct endpoint.
True fixed mobile convergence.
Yes.
Good
and that's
stuff.
it. So we have a bunch of voice over IP and mobile technology we are offering to customers, and we have all this stuff. A cloud PBX has to be like IVRs or RCD and forwarding and all this.
Yeah.
On the other side, maybe this is what we have, what we earn money today, but we are also looking to the future. We have two products. One is called Satellite, and satellite is an OTT app. So we move this is our claim, we move the SIM card into an app. And what's new to this is that we have a mobile number and not a landline number. And it's an open ecosystem. So you have a really German mobile number, and everybody can call you on this number in this app. And we started, I don't know, 2 years ago, and I think we have now 250,000 customers, or going to 300. And it's just voice. So you have voice connectivity, but we're working on also on short messages and more stuff like that. And this is really, really cool to see that we can try to disrupt other markets today as we did it years ago. And on the other hand, we have Clink AI, and this is this is a team which is trying to check which problems of customers we can solve by using transcription or machine learning on audio streams or whatever. So yeah, this is what we also do, but this is more under the hood. So we're just doing a lot of research, doing a lot of trying out technologies, and having some kind of prototypes, so that when we speak, that you can see the text in a window. And sometimes if we are talking about an appointment, you got a pop-up where it said, do you want this appointment in your calendar? This is, on the other hand, what we are doing.
Right. So it sounds like the current state of things is very advanced cloud PBX with full integration of mobile endpoints through your mobile virtual network operator. But it sounds like there's onward development in a number of areas. And that's very good to hear.
Yes, that's totally true. This year, or last year, we moved all our interconnects to different carriers to an IP interface. So we tried to get rid of this old SS7 interconnects, and we have one left. This is Telefonica. This is the part to the MVNO, to the SIM cards. And I think we will finish the testing today or tomorrow. And then all our network is based on NGN and IP, and then we can also offer good codecs, good quality to all our customers.
So that's great to hear. And just out of interest, what was it, just workflow, or was there a technical reason why you were left with this one SS7 interconnect?
No, this is workflow. We have only this small team of voice engineers which can move from SS7 to IP, and we have to make a priority. And Corona times.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's just that I think it's conceivable, especially if you've had more than one interconnect partner, that some are easier to do than others. But anyway, that's great to hear. Yes, because once you're an all IP network, as you said, the world is your oyster in terms of offering higher quality codecs like Opus and things like that across the board. That's great. So now, Markus, I know that you in sipgate are big users of open source, but you're not just big users, you're big contributors. You give back to the community as well. So I wonder if you can tell us which open source projects you use and roughly for what. And of course, we can just by the projects you mentioned, we'll be able to guess some of what you're using them for, but also talk about the ways that you interact with the community and give back as well, because I know that is a big part of what you do, as I've witnessed it firsthand.
Yeah, sure. We use a lot of open source tools at sipgate, beside the telephony stack. But in the telephony stack, we can start in front. There's always a Kamailio as a load balancer, or sometimes as a session border controller. We are already on a really new version, so we have 5 point something. I don't know exactly, but it's really, really good. I think we do a lot of infrastructure as code, so we try to not use the configuration language from Kamailio itself, but we try to use TypeScript or Lua or Python to do test-driven development inside the Kamailio logic. This is all the signaling platform is based on Kamailio. For voice interconnectivity and for voice streams, we use a lot of RTP engines. This is for NAT traversal and helping NAT solutions, and we also do some topology hiding. And behind the RTP engine, there's our Asterisk farm. We have two roles today for Asterisk. One is the Asterisk gateway, which is doing like billing and number format checking and this. And we have the so-called media platform, and the media platform is doing all the comfort features for the PBX. And we started to renew the media platform 2 years ago. I think Göran had a talk on the ClueCon twice about using the ARI interface, and we use this both or all three components heavily. And what we mostly do is, because we are an operation team, we mostly report bugs with a lot of traces and a lot of informations, and help the community to find and to fix these sometimes security issues, sometimes performance issues. And that's what we're doing more than 10 years, I think, now.
Okay,
and,
so yeah, that's one of the massive ways of giving back, is actually using the software, finding the wrinkles in it, the problems in it, reporting back and contributing. You know, because rather than just throwing your hands up in the air and saying there's a problem, you can say, well, here's the problem, here's the documentation around the problem, and helping identify the repeatable problem so that you can work with the people to get to the source of it. That's, you know, an incredibly useful thing to do. And I know, of course, the Kamailio team, led by Daniel, and the Asterisk team, led by Matt and Josh, are always very grateful for this kind of feedback. That's excellent. And contribute code, or is it more in terms of the kind of diagnostics and getting to the root of the problem where you're involved on a technical side?
It's mostly diagnostic, but we have a freelancer who sometimes tries to fix bugs for us if we need a time to market. And then we also provide patches and all the stuff you need to fix it.
Right, so push it back upstream. Excellent. That's really good.
Yes.
Okay, well that's good to hear. One of the recurring themes here on CCW is the giving back. And I remember having a chat. I think it was with David Bender from the good old US of A, and he was saying even asking a question on a forum is a form of giving back, because it helps for other people to search for answers to that question. But yeah, that's great. Okay. What you're giving back to open source project is not confined to helping get to the root of operational problems with them. You also are very involved in the community in terms of supporting events and participating in them. And again, can you tell us a little bit about that, please, Markus?
Yes, I can talk for the Kamailio events, because I think the ClueCon events is mostly in Göran's hands. We sponsor, so we try to help with some money to make the events happen. And I think 2 years ago, we started to think what we can help the event to be a better, an event which you remember often. And yeah, we booked a boat in Berlin on the river, on the Spree, with some beer, food, and drinks, and then we make a small Kamailio boat trip on the first evening. And I think this was awesome, because the sipgate crew had captain clothes on, and we had a lot of fun. And I think this is if you can't code, and if you can't.
Sorry, we've got a little bit of a delay here. But I heard how good it was. Very sadly for me personally, I was late to that particular event, and so although I was at the Kamailio World, I didn't get to the boat trip. But I heard excellent reports from it and how enjoyable it was for everybody concerned. And giving back like that is a theme in Kamailio world as well, because you've got the Passcom guys making sure there's high quality video coverage and video output, and now you've got you guys adding an excellent social dimension to it. And as we know, a lot of relationships are formed and a lot of problems are solved in these very social settings.
That's true. And what we did also in the last 2 years is we were hosting the Kamailio developer meeting here in Düsseldorf in our office. So the guys flew in and had 2 days of Kamailio discussions and programming stuff. Like Ole was here, Daniel, Alexandre, and then we sponsored the whole event for food, for drinks, and we tried to organize an open door party in our own pub we have at the corner of the street, and where we invited people who are interested in open source technology or in the telco stuff. And I think we were a group of 20 people or 25 people drinking beer, talking about stuff, and it was really funny because there were people coming who just read or see the announcement and say hello and eat pizza, drink some beer, and it was really a funny evening.
Great
stuff. And this is good. So that's what we can do to give back to the community.
Indeed. So there's actually helping make the open source projects you're using better by contributing to diagnostics. There's the sponsorship of events, and then of course there's the actual speaking at events. And Joran Vinzens has spoken at Astricon on a number of occasions, and I believe you've also had speakers at Kamailio World as well. Is that correct? In addition to sponsoring,
yes, we had Krishan was talking, Sebastian in the last years, and I think last year we had we had a slot, but we were not talking on our own. We had a show your Kamailio setup, so we gave 5-minute slots to people that they can show what they are doing with Kamailio.
Right.
And this was also a great slot, because some people who might not have content for a whole slot, like 30 minutes, just took 5 minutes to present something they are working on, and had could present and then have topics to talk about in the breaks. So this was really a good session.
Oh, very much so, because not only are these sessions useful for people that would like to know how to do a certain thing, and you see it explained in a session, but also, of course, people come along to either Kamailio World or Astricon, or of course ClueCon, the free switch gathering in the US, and they're using that project for X, Y, and Z, but they didn't know that it could also do A, B, and C. And so when they see people talking about, they think, oh, it could do this thing for me as well. And that, that's very positive. So that's really the power of community, different dimensions. Well, that's good to hear, Markus. Thank you very much for explaining that. I'd like to change the conversation a little bit now towards the sipgate and your kind of distributed and working from home abilities, because as I mentioned, I've been privileged to come to your HQ in Düsseldorf on a number of occasions, and one of the things that's always struck me is how friendly and team-like everybody is, and there's a lot of collaboration that has relied in the past on everybody getting together in open areas and brainstorming and popping up post-its and all that kind of stuff. And so it's very interesting to me to find out how you've managed to move over to that kind of more distributed working arrangement. In a previous chat I had with Joran, he explained that it had taken you a little while to home in on maybe the software systems and apps that you were going to use to facilitate that, but he explained that settled in a little bit with some of those tools. So I wonder if you could give us an update on how things are working out in the distributed working domain.
I think as everybody, we moved totally the employees to work remotely. So we set up our first VPN based on open source tools, technologies, and we learned that not talking to people in 3D is really hard if you always did it. So we a little bit forced all the teams to come back to the campus once a month or twice a month, And we arranged in 3 areas on our outdoor area, which is really separated, so that you have enough space for all the people to have enough distance between them and to have meetings in real life. And beside that, the kitchen will be there. So we have a chiringuito, a small house on the outside area, where there's a small kitchen in it, and then they serve breakfast and lunch. And then you can have your meetings or your discussions in real life at the office. But it's only allowed outside. If you go inside, you have to wear a mask. You have to clean your hands and fingers as usual. And we have it ends at 6, so there will be no drinking parties later. So this was how we tried to get over the summer. And as it's getting colder, we just put some heaters outside and some blankets and all this stuff. But now it's getting difficult to organize that. We have a big parking place over there. We have we call them cubes. It's like 3 modules where you can work with 10 people inside. When it was raining, the teams could walk up there and open the big doors and have some kind of wind, and it was okay for working when it's raining. And we try now to put some HEPA filter mechanisms inside the cubes, so that we can offer teams working in a heated area and also have a good air cleaning system, so that we have a good feeling that people are sitting together and working close by close.
Right.
But yes, a lot of people are still at home, and if you're not able to work from home, or if you need to have to change your working place, we have a booking system now, so you can reserve a room in the office and then you can come here. It's 1 person per room, and we also have lunch at the blue box at the blue building outside, but it's all separated. Everybody has to take care of everybody. So yeah. And I think one of the big challenges was I'm one of the founders of the sipgate Mini Club. So we have a holiday kids care. So you can bring the kids in the holiday season here, and there's a team of students who take care of them going outside for sports or in the zoo or whatever. And it was really kind of hard to organize this in this time of the year, because we have to check that the kids are not on the same department, so that they not get involved. And but we managed it, and we had some kind of outdoor kindergarten also on the parking place. And yeah, we will see how this will go on in the next weeks and month.
Right. So it sounds like you've managed to maintain that kind of social cohesion, if you like, by having periodic meetings, in between times when people are working from home. And Joran was explaining that you'd found tools that you could collaboratively work on software development together remotely and things like that. And so that's good to hear that you found ways of doing that. Because part of Sipgate's power, well, of course, every company relies on people power, but it's a very, very special thing in the world of Sipgate. As I said, I've been able to see it and participate in it and enjoy it. And of course, one of the things we should have mentioned when we were talking about community was your Lean Dus events that you have previously had, because again, that's a community specifically to the Asterisk community or to the Kamailio community, but just to the business and the coding community in your local area. Just as we come to an end, can you tell us a little bit about those, please, Markus?
Yes, I think we started in 2015, 16, and we started in 2009 to move the company to a lean and agile mindset, and to implement some of these frameworks in our daily life. And we thought, okay, we learned a lot, so we can talk to other people or share knowledge. And yeah, we introduced a conference format called Lean Dus, and it was once a month, and it was like Wednesday evening. We opened our kitchen or our restaurant for that. It's like 100 seated people, and if you have also people staying around, like 200 people. And we invited speakers all over the world to different topics, not only to lean and agile stuff. And we had Mary Poppendick here. We had Bruce Dickinson here from Iron Maiden. He was talking about how to make a customer to be a fan. It was really amazing evening. We had the owner of Kemper Amplifications, guitar amplifier, who's profiling sounds, and was really amazing. We had Matt Jordan from Digium as CTO years ago, talking about open source development between a company and the community.
I remember that one. Yeah, I was there.
How to prioritize. And a lot of people. Richard Sheridan from I think it's Chicago, talking about Joy Life. So how to Joy Inc. His book Joy Inc. And a lot of people. There's a lot of people on the website, and this it's really a good format to change knowledge and to speak with other people and to challenge also what you have achieved, because it will never end. So and you always get input and get a feedback to what you're doing, and this is why we do this. And also we have like 30,000 people coming to our office and see what we are doing, which products we sell, and making them to fans from us, hopefully. So yeah, absolutely. It's really sad that we have to stop these conferences.
Yes, just before we say goodbye and leave that subject, you said about the videos. These videos are available for anybody to watch?
Yes, I think so. They're online.
Okay, that's great.
Leandus.de.
Lean, and Lean is Lean, Lean, and then Dus is DUS from Dusseldorf. Leandus.de. Great. Okay. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Markus. Thank you for telling us about what's going on in SIPgate and coming into the ClueCon Weekly podcast studio. We appreciate you dropping by, and I hope we get to see each other at a Kamailio World or some other thing in real life, because although it is possible to do all these things remotely and then even enjoyable, it is a lot of fun to get together in real life as well. So thank you very much. Yes. All the best to you and your colleagues. And once again, we appreciate you dropping in and sharing your knowledge with us.